Can you guys all say Team Day on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Hey guys, Nick Gonzalez here. I am a former president of HOSA. HOSA stands for Health Occupational Students of America, and basically it's a class, academy class at your school or at a different school if you travel from another school, where you go and learn the basics of kind of the medical field and get a better understanding to see if you want to pursue farther in college and or careers.
What do you learn in HOSA?
So basically you learn the essentials of what kind of a nurse does. Takes blood pressure, takes vitals. We also learn how to use a tourniquet, stop the bleed it's called, and we also learn CPR, and we are CPR certified after that class.
So Nick, in school, do you invite medical professionals to come to your classes?
Yes, we actually do. I invited one myself. She was orthopedic, and she came in, showed us all the cool stuff she's been through and all the cool experience and certifications she's gone through and all the schooling, and it was a great experience. A few of my classmates have also done that too and brought in their family friends that are nurses, doctors, and it's awesome.
So that's what HOSA classes do? They invite medical professionals down? Why is that?
To get a better understanding of what they do on a day-to-day basis and see if we like it and want to be in the field.
So you think anyone that's contemplating the medical field should definitely take HOSA?
I strongly recommend it because it steered me away from it because I had a little interest, but not enough to carry me through the rest of the way.
What was the turning point for you?
8 years of school.
Okay. Wow, Pela Soto is with us today, a poison control specialist. She's our favorite person at poison control. She always helps us out with a lot of information. Hi, Pela, how are you today?
Hi, Marianne. I'm well. How are you?
Good, good. So today we would like you to share. The kids are off to college. Some may not know what they want to do. And we want to share how to become a poison control specialist, a toxicologist. And we know you are both or almost both. So can you tell us?
Yeah.
Yes. Can you tell us about your journey, your advice, and what you had to do what you do?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, congratulations to everybody who's going away to college, or even if you're still thinking about it. One of the things that you probably may not have heard of before is being a poison specialist. And the way that I got here is I actually started out knowing that I really enjoyed the sciences, and I went to the University of South Florida and started out kind of just generally in biology, and then began to focus in on microbiology, which I found really interesting for some reason. You'll kind of find something that seems to grab you a little bit more than something else, and that's what happened to me. So I earned a bachelor's of science in microbiology, and I was interested in benchtop research. It was really cool. It was really fun. But
what is benchtop research?
Yeah, benchtop research. Good question. Benchtop is literally doing more of like, doing like vials and pipettes into things like literally on the bench top of like your science lab table versus doing studies in people and things like that. So in my situation, I thought that was really cool. And with microbiology, you are dealing with things that you cannot see with a naked eye, and in benchtop research, and what I was interested in doing, it was kind of the same thing. So I ended up applying for a fellowship, and I got it, and it was a fellowship over the summer that was focused on doing research in bio-life sciences, and I got to do some research on like an anti-bioterrorism thing, and it sounded really cool, and we got to, we were replicating DNA and doing all this fun stuff with it, and but although it was really cool and it was fun, it did become kind of mundane, and I did end up staying on in that lab throughout the rest of my schooling, as like an elective. And it was fun, but I ultimately found that it was a little bit isolating for me. And so I decided—
You are definitely a people person, yes.
Yeah, I am. I think I am too. And these are things that you learn along the way. And I would have never known that had I not had that experience. So after completing that degree, I took some time off from school because I needed some time to figure out what I wanted to do.
After your bachelor's.
Yes, after my bachelor's.
Okay.
And then I worked out I actually worked as an operations manager at a staffing company, and I just really missed science so much. And I was reading scientific journals in my off time, and I realized, wow, that's actually my passion. This is actually what I really am interested in. And I decided to go back to school, and I found that George Washington University had a new program in pharmacogenomics.
Wow.
And it's another bachelor's program. They've since made it into a master's program, but at the time it was a bachelor's program. And it was kind of, I felt like a good way to get back into school mode again, because I'd been out at that point for like a year and a half or 2 years. So I did that. I got accepted to that program.
Was that an additional 4 years?
No, because I'd had quite a bit of the credits. It ended up being, it was actually only 2 years.
Okay.
But the second year also doubled as my first year of pharmacy school. So there's a lot of these kind of cool programs like that out there where you can earn dual degrees at the same time. So if you're interested in business plus you're interested in science, there's a lot of times these options out there, these degrees. And in this case, it was great because I did 1 year, which I felt was a nice ramp up to being back into school again, and then going right into my PharmD. So that I earned
Your PharmD?
Yeah, a Doctor of Pharmacy degree.
Okay.
And so to be a PharmD in general, you do not usually, depending on the school, you usually do not have to have a bachelor's degree. Many of them now are requiring it, but not all of them. Some of them you just have to have like an associate's degree, like an AA, 2 years, and their prerequisites done. So that's another.
What would they do with that? They'd be a pharmacist?
Yeah, yep. They could be a pharmacist.
Okay.
Yep, with just 2 years.
With an associate's?
Well, you have to get in with the associate's degree, then yes, you still have to, you get accepted into pharmacy school, and then that's another 4 years. But yeah, so minimum 6 years, but most people end up doing it in 8 years. And I decided to take longer than that.
How long ago did you graduate?
I graduated from pharmacy school in 2011.
Okay.
And that was, at the end of 4 years of pharmacy school and 1 year of pharmacogenomics program. And then prior to that, 4 years at a regular, my first degree. So you don't have to do that to be a poison specialist. We hire both, we hire PharmDs. And we also hire nurses or RNs that have a background in either emergency medicine, like they've worked in the emergency room before, or on the ICU, the intensive care unit. So people who have experience in taking care of critically ill people, because we do deal with people who are really sick and overdosing and coming into the emergency room, as well as people from home who thankfully are usually not that sick. But you can go either way to work at a poison control center. A lot of pharmacists are looking at poison control centers where it used to be probably a little bit more nurse-centered, and every poison center is a little bit different, but you can at least get to work at poison control with, probably a minimum of 4 years of schooling and then some practical experience, or we do hire PharmDs right out of school.
If you think it might be poison and you don't know what to do, call 1-800-222-1222.
I want to make clear to them out there, to parents as well as teens, that if they have a question for you and they're 17 and they're afraid, and we're going to get into the various mixes, but they're on Adderall, they drink alcohol, they're on Adderall, and they did cocaine. I know that would be deadly, or something. So are they okay? Like, can they call you without you asking their name or their age? Are they safe to call you?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, poison control is a free service, and it is staffed by nurses and pharmacists who are trained in toxicology. We do ask for information such as age and weight, but if you'd like to withhold your name, you absolutely can. And we do have kids, 15, 16, 17 years old calling. We're open 24 hours a day. So we need some of those demographics to be able to give you a accurate suggestion or recommendation. But yes, it's a completely private medical record. It's as if you're speaking to your physician. It's a private medical chart. We don't publish that or share it or call your parents or anything like that. So
what if
really
they're talking about drugs like cocaine? Do you call the police?
No, we don't. And I try to encourage people when they are sick. Oftentimes, young people especially are worried about going into the ER. And the doctors there and the nurses there are not there to get you. They're not going to do that. They're there to help you. And that makes me so sad when people, do not seek out help when they really need it because they're fearful of that. It's really not their role. It's certainly not our role to call the police.
Okay, wonderful. So I want to dedicate this show to a friend of my son's. They were in China together. He went to an American doctor over there. It was an unfortunate situation. He had pneumonia. They did not do a chest x-ray. When he went in, he described his symptoms very, nonchalantly, like, I can't sleep, I'm coughing all night, and I have a fever. So the doctor there gave him a medication. Now, it was written, I guess, in another language while he was over there. I guess it was in Chinese. He didn't really know what he was taking, but it wasn't going to help with his cough or his breathing. There was no albuterol given or anything that you would need to open up your airways. And instead, the medication did help him go to sleep, but unfortunately it lowered his respirations and he didn't wake up. And the autopsy found that he had pneumonia. So it was very unfortunate because my son felt terrible because he said, if I was there, I would have asked for, a chest x-ray. And, because kids know that today. They know when they can't breathe, they need a chest x-ray. They know they need an antibiotic. This kid did not get an antibiotic. Really healthy, smart kid, studying abroad. So what I wanted to talk about was if they are studying abroad and they have a question, they get a medication from a foreign doctor and they're on medications from home, can they call you guys in the States and say, listen, I don't know what this is. I don't really want to take it. Can they call you?
They can. Before going overseas, I would really urge people just to know how to call 1-800 numbers. You certainly can do that. And drug interactions, that's a topic that we field every single day. And it's a completely appropriate reason to call, just to see in advance of taking the drug or even after taking the medication, was this okay to take with my current regimen? And even for medical advice, we are nurses and pharmacists.
Yes.
So, just saying like, these are my symptoms, although I'm not a medical doctor, I can say, what, that really, I tend to
Sounds like a breathing problem.
Exactly. And I would be concerned about taking this particular medication and, probably checking his weight against it and seeing where he was and, is there somebody there with you, tonight? And that's terribly unfortunate. But you can call poison control. There are 55 poison centers in the United States. We obviously do Northern Virginia, Montgomery County, Prince George's County, and Washington, D.C. A lot of international calls just get routed to the D.C. Poison Center. It's just the way it kind of works. But if you don't have a cell phone, if you have your regular cell phone there, just call the 1-800. Exactly. Nowadays, thankfully, it's a little bit easier.
It's like,
call the
do you eat? Of course you have a cell phone.
Are you breathing? Yeah, call the 1-800 number and you'll get through. And again, we're there 24/7, so it doesn't matter what time it is.
So parents should put that in their phones before they go to college.
Absolutely, I really recommend that.
So even at college, they should have it, even if they're here.
Absolutely, yeah. They're, it's a great service, and
it's
again,
a great resource.
It's free,
yes, it
and
is.
it's and we care.
Oh, yes, especially you. You are incredible. So apharmd, though, I want to get that straight. That's only 2 years.
That is, no, that is a minimum of 4 years in the PharmD program, but you can have your prerequisites you could get them done within 2 years and apply to a program that did not require a bachelor's degree and then become a PharmD. So because I know pharmacy school has become quite a bit more competitive as there have been more opening up, and most schools now do require a degree, but not all of them. And some schools have a special program where their bachelor's degree feeds right into their own pharmacy school. So there's definitely things like that. There are some accelerated programs out there as well. And those are a little bit, you know, it's a lot of information, and, you know, 4 years in itself is a really fast time. So some of these accelerated programs will do it in 3 years altogether, and I think that's pretty tough, but they exist. Yeah.
Okay. So now for you though. So now you're going to be a toxicologist, right?
I hope so, Marianne. I'm definitely, that's one of my goals is to, so my title now, I am a doctor of pharmacy, and I'm a certified poison specialist. Once you do get hired at Poison Control, a year after working there, you're kind of under somebody else and you're learning, and then you have to pass a national exam to become certified. And then if you want to, you can work towards becoming a clinical toxicologist, which is what I'm trying to do and what I'm hoping that I can do. So we know
you can do it. You're brilliant.
I hope so. Well, you know, I think a lot of people who go into the sciences are kind of these lifelong learners, and I always want to know more. And so it's really fun for me. But so that entails a whole bunch of other things. You have to do some research. You have to do, you know, some teaching. You have to do some work, you know, in toxicology. So I'm working towards getting there. And then of course there's a huge board exam. That's like a 2-day exam. It's supposed to be pretty intense, but so we'll see. But those are my goals. I've been lucky enough to do some research and do some teaching, and it's all good. But most of all, I love being able to help people, and you know, I feel like I found a place that, you know, the job that I was kind of always looking for.
So I think I asked you this last time, but you don't need a degree in psychology, but yet you need to be kind of a people person, not just, you know, because you're dealing with so many issues.
Yeah, it definitely helps. I think that I think I always say that it would be a really hard job if you didn't just genuinely like people and, you know, think that people at the core of things are good people and in a hard spot. And, you know, you have to take it as a privilege that, you know, people are letting you into their lives, you know, into this window when they're having a really bad day, usually, you know, because something really bad has happened, or their child, you know, your most prized possession has gotten into a poison. So you don't get any training on that, but, you know, we kind of know. I mean, when we interview people, we do, you know, we want somebody who is personable, who can interact with people, and who likes interacting with people, you know, who perks up when they, you know, somebody is, you know, talking to them and joking with them. You know, there's room for those things. It's a very human job.
Yeah, and you can tell if the person on the other side is smiling or grumpy or, you know, wanting to help you or judging you. And I have to say, every time we've experienced poison control, and especially with you, we never feel judged, and very open and comforting.
Yeah,
so reassuring.
Yeah,
you feel safe.
Judge. We're not looking at it from that angle. We deal with some of the most embarrassing and weirdest things, you know, you can imagine. And, you know, you just, that's just, it's life, and, you know, weird stuff happens. And so we're there to help when it does.
That's awesome. Well, I love what you do. So I hope future students out there decide to do what you do. So how many years, if they go straight through, to become a toxicologist?
Ooh, well, if you go my route, you can also become a medical toxicologist and go to medical school.
Wow.
and then do a residency and then a fellowship. So that's a long time. It's a long time. I mean, I can't imagine that anybody would do it in less than like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a long road, but it's a subspecialty. So it's really, you have to do a lot to kind of get to that point, because it's a big field. It covers a lot of things, and it
It's
takes
rewarding.
a long time. Yeah, I would say it's extremely rewarding.
I mean, you save people's lives all the time. You save people's kids and college students that need to call you. I know we've done a couple of shows with you on, the do's and don'ts for college students and drinking and drugs. And we appreciate you helping us out with the education and being there for the free call to a specialist that can answer our questions and reassure us that we're going to be okay, or we don't have to go to the hospital, or to bring us down, calm us down if we're having a side effect to maybe, a heart medication or an antibiotic or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So, or an adverse reaction. That's something too, where, you could call the pharmacist and they might tell you, no, that's not a common reaction. And you can call poison control and they'll say, no, but that's an adverse reaction. And we have seen that before. You're still going to be okay.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that, so it's reassuring.
Yeah, we dig deep, and we try to really explore these questions. And sometimes there's no answers, for the questions we're seeking, but you get enough training in toxicology, and you kind of, you can, make a best guess. We don't poison people and see what happens, but we have a lot of case reports and data on what happens when people do that. And so we kind of take all that information and, try to make a plan.
Yeah. Try and save their life.
Yeah.
Or help them feel better.
Yeah.
Well, Pela, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, anytime.
Do you want to give them any advice?
Just, be open and really try to think about what you like. Something will hopefully grab you, and not everybody goes into college knowing exactly what they're going to do. And don't let that, make you feel like that you're not going to end up, someplace happy. I certainly did not know what I was going to do, and I got here. It took me maybe longer than most, but it's been a great journey, and that's part of the fun. So definitely enjoy yourself and keep your eyes open. Try things, try new jobs, try new, experiences, and figure out what you're going to be happy doing.
So did you work through school?
I did work through school.
Is school as rigorous as medical school for a potential toxicologist or poison control specialist or pharmacist?
With, for pharmacy school, I for my undergrad degrees, I did work through those. And then with my PharmD program, I didn't work as much. I only would work on the weekends, really. And so it was kind of, I think that most of us do, have to work, in some way.
Or get a loan.
Yeah, get loans. Well, I definitely did both. So.
Or now academic scholarships are very big.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it's very, if you have to work, try to manage it and try to keep it, as low stress as possible, because you certainly, the most important thing is going to school and focusing on school. So, see what options you have there. And if you're, only, making a little bit of money on the weekends, is it worth your time? And, it's a lot of things to consider.
Thank you so much for talking to us.
You are so welcome, and we'll see you soon.
If you think it might be poison and you don't know what to do, call 1-800-222-1222.
We are, here 24/7. We are a non-for-profit medical hotline, and we do
donations help a lot
Yes.
because I'm a big fan. We have to keep them in business.
Absolutely.
There was one time where poison control was in danger.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
this country would be in trouble without
poison controls do a really good service, but we're here for you. Call anytime, and we always appreciate your support.
If you think it might be poison, then the first thing you should do is call 1-800-222-1222. Poison is the kind of thing you're not supposed to touch. Oh, prescriptions, cleaning stuff, or spider bites and such. If you swallowed something bad or think you took too much, call the Poison Control Center hotline. We're the people you can trust.
For poison emergencies or just questions, the Poison Control Center hotline is here 24/7 with the expert help you need. Free and confidential. We hope you never need us, but keep our number by the phone.
1-800-222-1222. 1-800-222-1222. If you think it might be poison and you don't know what to do, call 1-800-222-1222.